Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, 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 to me, nah, 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 right now. Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, 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 to me, nah, 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 right now. I've been feeling like a loner lately. Been a minute since I woke up feeling sober. When I wake I'm seeing nightmares. Sleeping you out right there like you never left. And I am hoping that you might care. Change on me. What about us? What about the times when I feel like I could trust? Yeah, now I'm on a chase for the same shit. I hear the sirens in the lake and wanna chase them. Beauty on the out, but I'm surrounded by the fake shit. Beasts in a maze. Sing about freedom like a bird in a cage. That's a whole different pain. Calling up my homies and it's hard to explain. Yeah, it's hard to explain. Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, 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 to me, nah, 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 right now. Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, 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 to me, nah, 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 right now. I wonder if you're social lately. I wonder if you're always fucking sober or emotional roller coaster, barely coasting, hardly cope. But wanna call me, but you never push that motherfucking button. Change on me. What about us? What about the times when you feel like you could trust? Yeah, now you wanna chase for the same shit. You hear the sirens in the lake and wanna chase them. Beauty on the out, but you're surrounded by the fake shit. Beasts in a maze. Sing about freedom like a bird in a cage. That's a whole different pain. Calling up your homies and it's hard to explain. Yeah, it's hard to explain. Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, 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 to me, nah, 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 right now. Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, 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 to me, nah, 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 right now. A whole lot of pirates, looking for high risk, searching for idols, see through your iris. No fooling a giant, feel the wrath of a tyrant. Never really had enough, you can never really have enough. Nah, 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 never really had enough, you can never really have enough. Whole lot of pirates, whole lot of pirates, looking for high risk, searching for idols, see through your iris. No fooling a giant, feel the wrath of a tyrant. Never really had enough, you can never really have enough. Nah, 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 never really had enough, you can never really have enough. I've been searching my soul, looking for diamonds of gold, thinking how far does it go? Can I buy love at the store? Really, how much are they running me for? They conning for more. Look, I can see the greed in their eyes now, trying to show the teeth when they lie, but I would never lie down. Enemies on the line now, gotta get the high ground. Take a step and get sniped down. Who's got the highest price? Who's got the ruby eye? You know everyone has a price. Who's got the sharpest knife? Picking that diamond mines, keep a short leash on them dogs. On my goonies, they never die. My Valentines follow the dollar signs, hard to not compromise. When you never had shit to begin with, picking up tricks in the interest. Rather get rich in the trenches. Man, I'm talking big business, where the morals are smaller than inches. Get hip to the system or sleep with the fishes. Outsmart the vindictive, don't become a whole lot of pirates, looking for high risk, searching for idols, see through your iris. No fooling a giant, feel the wrath of a tyrant. Never really had enough, you can never really have enough. Nah, 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 never really had enough, you can never really have enough.
That's why you gotta look for yourself. Do not live your life on another man's word. Open up these books for yourself. You will get shook by the truth too. Start to see crooks by the buku. Connections unseen like the Bluetooth or the Wi-Fi. Found facts that I can't deny. I had to change my eye, which is a fancy way of saying niggas switch perspective. No auto-tune.
All right, everybody, peace. Welcome. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Prime Sports Media. I'm live tonight I like these night shows. Sometimes it works good with my schedule as well. I want to appreciate everybody that's coming over to watch this program tonight. I want to get into a couple of things before I get into the meat and the potatoes of what this stream is about. As you know, we have a young man. The transfer portal continues to keep giving to Coach Prime. So as I've said before in previous videos, all content creators have said these things, that as we're losing players, we're also gaining players who have great potential, great skills, and what have you. And that's one of the areas tonight that I want to go over when it comes to this young man right here that I believe is very dynamic. That's R.J. Johnson, who has come over by way of transfer portal. I'm going to get into that young man tonight, give you some meat and potatoes about that young man. So let me do something right now. I want to make sure I've got my notes and all my good stuff. I got a lot of good information to provide you tonight. Now, before we get into the R.J. Johnson transfer portal excitement, this young man coming over, because I'm going to show you some video clips that I have of him that shows that he has great potential. He only spent 1 year at Arkansas, and so he was redshirted, didn't get any playing time, and as a result, he's coming to CU as a freshman with all 4 years. Now, we got to keep this in mind before I get into the controversy in a minute here. Keep this in mind. I'm going to put this up here. We know that Shedeur Sanders is leaving. Right here's a picture of him right here. He'll be leaving for the NFL draft. Okay, next year, 2025 draft year. We know that Shallow is going to be leaving for the draft potentially. And then there's my man Craig, who's playing in the secondary. Him and Shallow are basically your starting safeties, okay? And so my question is, we're going to need another young talent to fill the void when these two brothers are gone. And that's why I think this young man right here that I'm going to talk more about in details may just fill the bill. He's young and he is gifted. This young man is very, very athletic, and he was highly recruited by several schools within the SEC. And Arkansas is the school that got him. This kid was very well recruited, has great potential. When you see some of the clips I'm going to show you tonight, you're going to understand why this was a great catch for Coach Prime. When you've got potential guys like Shallow, should I say? Let me correct that. Shallow Sanders, who will be leaving, and then you got my man Craig, who won't be with the team that much longer. So you're going to have to start thinking about the upcoming future and filling the void with guys that can play that safety position, either free safety or strong safety. So I just wanted to bring that up for a brief moment. I'm going to get back over to that young man, what he's made of, the video clips I'm going to show you. I appreciate people that are that may be coming in and watching this. I want to appreciate everybody that will watch this on the replay. I don't know how many we'll get over here tonight. I know it's been a busy day all over social media for folks watching various content creators. I think that's great. Let me go ahead and just say this. Everybody knows about the beef. As you see, I have it written up there, the transfer portal in the Xavier Smith beef. It's pretty. It's. Is it a distraction? Yeah, it's a distraction because, they got an upcoming season, and you definitely want the focus to be on the upcoming season and the players that are actually there. Now, this young man was with the team, Xavier Smith, during the 20? He was on the team, I believe, prior to Coach Prime getting there. And let me just give you a breakdown about who Xavier Smith is in this whole situation. Now, this young man was originally recruited as a 3-star. Let me put this up here because I don't know how many people are doing this, but I want to lay out, some facts here as I get into this for just a brief moment. There he is right there. This young man was a 3-star prospect. He was a 69th ranked safety in the class of 2022 when he committed to Colorado. So he was one of the holdovers of players that were there when Coach Prime got there, and there was a lot of guys there that weren't serious about their football, and he had to literally let those guys know, if you don't meet my requirements, if you don't meet my expectations, if you don't do the things that I want you to do, then you should think about getting in that transfer portal. I don't know why everybody is trying to throw Coach Prime under the bus. He was very honest about what he was going to do. He told, and he put it on video. Now, this young man, Xavier Smith, is saying that Coach Prime didn't recognize him, didn't, give him a chance to get to know him and what have you. And the thing that's bothering me is that I'm beginning to wonder what's going on. Now, I know he's young. These are young players. You got to understand them. But we're not. This is the problem with today's time. I think we're way too soft and easy on these kids that play sports. Sports is supposed to be about character building. It is supposed to be about winning. You reward people for their hard work when they win, not participation trophies. Okay? And I think,
tell the truth,
I wonder if this generation of young men, in some ways, when they go to a football program and now the coach is getting on them, the coach is disciplining them, the coach is saying, these are my expectations, and for whatever reason, some of these kids may be feeling a little like, I'm not loved enough. You're not hugging me enough. You're not loving me enough. This is football. This is not, this is bottom line. This is football. And this is not and when you play at the college level, the pro level, nobody's holding your hands. Nobody's going to give you a big hug and say, okay, we sorry. It is what it is. It's big time football, because if Coach Prime doesn't have success, what's going to happen to Coach Prime? He's going to get let go. So Coach Prime doesn't have time to hold these young men's hands when he has already laid out to you what the expectations are. So if you're not happy there, you jump into the transfer portal, which a lot of the kids did of their own fruition. And then Coach Prime had to show some of them the door that were not following the directions, bringing musical boom boxes or radios to the meetings, all sorts of things that was going on that Coach Prime spoke of. He had to remove certain kids that were not there to really win. And then that reflect why they had a bad season. So Xavier Smith has been gone from this team for at least a year. And now he comes out in the Athletic, the article from the Athletic, and now he wants to spill all these beans because maybe he's sore that he's not playing with the team. Now, from all accounts, the young man has had some success at Austin Peay. He's not there now because he's getting ready to transfer to UTEP. I think he's at UTEP right now. Even his coach has put his 2 cents in it and gotten into the mix with this whole thing. You see right here, he had to get into it. The D1 head coach defends Xavier Smith amid the whole situation. He has every right to defend his player. Nobody's saying but the whole thing is getting way after dark. The young man has moved on to Austin Peay, where now I guess things are not. Check this out. This is the thing. I don't know if anybody's going to break it down to you like this. The young man left CU because for whatever reason, things weren't working out. He feels that Coach Prime didn't hug him enough, didn't give him enough tickle, tickle, tickle. Let me rub your stomach and give you some milk and crackers. I guess he didn't get enough attention there, so he left, which he had the right to. He went to Austin Peay, where, from what I understand, he had success there. I think he was all conference. So now, if you are having success at Austin Peay, your coach is back in your play, right? Then I want to know to everybody in the chat room, what's the problem? Why did you have to leave Austin Peay? Why'd you leave that school? What was going on there? Were you not getting enough attention? Why did you leave a program that you had definitely become a key player in the conference? Now you've gone to UTEP. And let's be honest, UTEP is not some big time Power 5 program. So I'm just wondering, this man goes to Austin Peay, he's having success, and then he jumps from Austin Peay to now jumping to the transfer portal to go to UTEP. And now you got time to be talking about why you didn't like the way you were treated or how Coach Prime didn't give you that much time at Colorado when you've already spent a whole year at another school. I don't understand what's going on here. What was the point of throwing out all this shade? And then, of course, Shedeur came out and said, hey, I didn't even know this. I don't know this guy. He's mid-level, right? And the whole media jumped on him. They jumped on him. Excuse me, folks. Wrong buttons. They jumped on Shedeur for making an honest statement. The young man has come out and said some things about him, about the program, which is a sort of a push towards his father, right? So, of course, Coach Prime had to come out and defend his son, defend his program. Why not? So now the whole media just blew this whole situation out of proportion because this young man was not happy with his situation there when he was already told in advance that, hey, not all of you are going to be here. So you went on to another school to have success. Why didn't you just stick with the success that you had there? Why did this whole thing have to be blown up into this bigger issue than need be, ladies and gentlemen? I just want y'all to think about that before I get into the meat of this video today about R.J. Johnson, the transfer that's coming over. I don't understand. You know, this young man put out these memes were put out, which I didn't like. You see these memes. I was actually getting mad, like tears coming to my eyes because, bro, you never even tried to get to know me. Now, I understand why the young man probably was upset because he's got someone that he looked up to in Coach Prime, an NFL caliber coach coaching him. And so he probably wanted to get that shine off of Coach Prime. But at some point in time, as a young man, we got to move on. We got to move on. You're having success somewhere else. Why drag this all out? It just didn't make any sense to me, y'all. So what I'm going to do is I want to play this audio from the Undisputed. And I think the audio that you're going to hear as we get ready to get into the real reason for this video today, which is R.J. Johnson, the safety from Arkansas. He's a safety / cornerback. And we're going to get into that in just a minute. But while we do, I want you all to hear something from the Undisputed with Shannon. I think it was Skip Bayless, Paul Pierce, and Keyshawn Johnson, who did most of the talking, a man who's had professional football experience, college experience. I want you to hear a little bit of what he said, and I kind of agree with the take on this. Let's check this out, everybody. Put a 7 in the chat room if you can hear this.
Fired back on social media at a former Colorado player who blasted Deion. Former Colorado safety Xavier Smith told The Athletic in a story that was published on Monday that Deion Sanders, and I quote, never even tried to get to know me, and quote, was destroying guys' confidence and belief in themselves. Keyshawn, should Deion and Shedeur even have acknowledged Xavier Smith, who played last year at Austin Peay?
Well, let's start off by saying yes, they should have. And Shedeur, I mean, that's what they do. It's the social media, it's the back and forth. That's what they do. They do it in every single industry when they're young.
Yeah.
They're young. That's what they do. College kids, you know, rappers. That's what they do. They make tracks on one another. That's the beef, as they like to call it.
Yep.
Now you say, well, why would Deion stoop to a dude at Austin Peay? Austin Peay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude at Austin Peay. Why would Deion stoop to his level, right? Why would Deion do this? Deion, man, I'm Deion.
He is Deion.
And here's what I would say. If I thought that Deion had a stoop to a level that he shouldn't have been at, I would certainly tell Deion, man, what are you doing? I would tell him that. But I don't have to tell him that, because when somebody is questioning your character and trying to assassinate your character and telling people that you're doing this and you are making players feel less than what they are, and that's not the case, and clearly Deion didn't feel that way, I don't have no problem with Deion checking the dude. Because if he wasn't, Deion's not like, first of all, he's unique, as we all know. He's not like the rest of these coaches that coach college football. No. He would be disingenuous if he didn't respond. That wouldn't be Deion. That's not Deion like. Deion gonna check this dude and check him in the right way. If he got up there at the press conference or some golf tournament that they ran into him at, you know how you run into some guys in the offseason and asked him questions, and he sat up there skipping, he was like, well, you know, our football team is just really gonna concentrate on next season. Then you'd be like, man, that ain't, what? That's not who he is. Yep. So when somebody's trying to assassinate your character and tell people a story that's not true, at least in your eyes as a coach, you want to protect that. And I have none at all issues with it at all. As far as son go, I like the back and forth with the teammates and the ex-teammates. I think it's pretty funny. One guy showed a clip of another guy in practice, and then his teammate said, man, that dude had 32 catches or something, 32 yards last year. Yeah. And then they showed another dude who had like 30-something tackles in 3 years. So to me, that's humor. I'm like, okay, they getting at each other. They cutting each other to the white meat. Deion, he handled his business, and hey, it is what it is. Yeah. I like it.
I mean, I look at it as pure entertainment. If it wasn't Deion, who's the highest profile coach in all of college sports, yeah, but like you said, Key, you attacking my character. You're attacking the culture here at Colorado, and for one, you weren't even that good.
Man, I know, so many coaches, Paul, that can't recite a player's name that is in training camp wearing a jersey. I've been there, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, wait a minute, man. Right. You signed him. You don't know his name?
Exactly. Well, from what I know, he told him to enter the transfer portal.
He told him.
He told him, right?
In the first team meeting, he said, you have to pack your bags.
He decided to stay. Like at one point. So don't attack the culture. Don't attack the character. And I expect this from Deion. I mean, this is prime time. Yeah. But like he one of the biggest, showmen ever, and he's gonna respond. And we live in that era of social media anyway. This is the new age fights.
If you try to assassinate one's character, they should respond, though, Skip. You've been around.
You gotta protect your program.
Yeah, exactly. You've been around this thing a long time, and Deion's not the first coach to come into a meeting for the first time, whether it's college or pros. I'm here to tell you. No doubt. And tell the guys that I'm the new sheriff in town, and y'all asses better get it together, or you're going to be gone.
Get out of here.
He ain't the first.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, right there is where Keyshawn made a very strong point. When you play professional football, which a lot of these young men are aspiring to, you can have a coach that takes over a team, a new general manager, and they'll get rid of you if you're not meeting up to what they are their expectations. So college football, professional football, this is not for the faint of heart. Okay, this is not pee-wee football where every child gets to play, where every child's going to get special attention. It's just not that. And I almost feel like we're in a society now where you got to be extra soft on these kids. And that's, to me, I'm a Gen Xer. I don't think that builds strong character in young men, just to hold their hands and that everything is supposed to go their way, because that's not how life really works. You're going to have some ups and downs. You're going to have disappointments. And sometimes things in life don't go your way. And I think even when it comes to sports, not every guy is going to be on the roster. Every guy's not going to make the team. Not every guy is going to be the starter. Not everybody's going to be the star, even when they're the starter. So these are things that I wanted to put this out there because that was a big issue that was put out there in social media about this whole beef. Personally, I think it's a little bit of a distraction, but I think Coach Prime is well within his right to stand up for his program, stand up for himself if someone's attacking his character, especially a young man who's left the program. And let me give you some more information on Xavier, on this young man, something that you should know about this young man, Xavier Smith. Despite entering the 2023 transfer portal healthy, Smith was encouraged to transfer ultimately and committed to Austin Peay, where he had 75 tackles and 75 tackles and 5 tackles for a loss over a full season. Okay. So this young man had some success there. And then all of a sudden things weren't, I guess, what he wanted it to be at Austin Peay. So then he jumps himself into the transfer portal to go to UTEP, right? UTEP, to go to UTEP. And now he's talking about CU. Why are you talking? I'm just sorry. I'm being harsh right now, but I'm going to be harsh because why are you even talking about CU when you're already 2 teams? You're 1 team you played for away from CU. Now you're trying to jump to another team because maybe things ain't working the way you wanted at that school. See, so I don't know what the situation is, but I'm going to move on to the meat of the program tonight. But I just wanted to add that as part of my commentary for tonight's show, everybody. And I appreciate all of you here. So now, let's get to the meat in the sauce of what this stream is all about tonight. And of course, and that is this young man right here, R.J. Johnson. This young man, I tell you, I've seen some clips on him. I like what I see. I think Coach Prime, maybe take him off of there. I think Coach Prime has really got a young gem here. Once again, you're getting a young man who was heavily recruited. Let me give you some background on his recruitment and how he comes into the fold to us at CU. You're going to be very excited about the numbers that I'm going to break down to you about this young man right here. So check this out. R.J. Johnson / safety cornerback was rated the number 48 player in Georgia and the number 61 cornerback nationally by Rivals. So the young man's got the young man, as you always hear me say, is blessed with skills. Here, once again, ranked the 61st cornerback nationally, rated the 48th best player in the state of Georgia. Okay. Now, another thing that we found out is that I believe that R.J. Johnson played at the same high school, the Christian Academy. If I'm not the Landing Christian Academy, I think he played at the same program as Brandon Hood, Colton Hood, y'all. Okay, so he comes out of the same high school as those 2 young men, I believe so, and those 2 young men are on the team. They have committed. Hopefully, they will be enrolling very soon. But I just wanted to add that to this whole situation with this young man. Let me put this up here. Now, he's number 59th player in Georgia and the number 68th athletic in the country, the number 68th athlete in the country, according to 24 Sports. He played on both sides of the ball for his head coach, Rogers, at Eagles Landing Christian Academy in Georgia. As a sophomore, he picked off 1 pass for 69 yards. That's this young man right here. This is what we're getting. So this is very important because he's got 4 years of eligibility. He's going to be a redshirt freshman. So he's going to have time to show us what he can really do. I think Coach Prime might have gotten a gem here. When I show you some of his clips, I believe R.J. Johnson to be a gem. All right? I think he's a hidden gem for the program. Here's a picture of him with his his fellow Arkansas teammates out, out having a good time at, they're at the school. They got a nice little banner in the back of the school logo and, uniform of a brother running the ball. But this is where he was committed before changing his mind and saying that, you know what, I need to be with Deion and CU, y'all. That's where I need to be. I mean, he made the decision after only 1 year at Arkansas. He did not get any major playing time there. But I think from what I've seen on a video of him, I think he has great potential. Let me get more into his numbers that I want you all to be aware of too. So he played on both sides of the ball for his head coach in high school, and I talked about that. As a sophomore, he picked off one pass for 69 yards. As a junior, he had 23 receptions for 594 yards because he played both safety and he also played wide receiver in high school. So he was a multi-athlete. 594 yards for receptions, 25.8 yards for yak, okay, and 6 touchdowns as a senior. He racked up 56 total tackles, including 1 point tackle for a loss. He recorded 2 interceptions, 2 pass breakups, 1 fumble recovery, and 1 forced fumble. Offensively, he caught 32 passes for 486 yards for 15.2 yards in his percentage and 5 touchdowns. He chose Arkansas originally over Ball. These are the schools that this young man chose, okay? These are the schools. He chose Arkansas originally before now committing to Colorado to CU. He chose Boston, Duke. He had Duke. He had Boston College. He had Florida. He had Georgia Tech. He had Indiana. He had Kansas, Kentucky, Louisville, LSU, another SEC team, Mississippi State. He had Ole Miss, another SEC team. He had Rutgers. He had South Carolina, another SEC team. He had Vanderbilt, another SEC team. Virginia and Wake Forest that were looking to get this young man that you see on the screen right now. Now, I'm going to put this up here because I want to let you know more. And once again, looks like he played at the same high school. If I'm correct, he played at the same high school as the Hood brothers, and we've just had the Hood brothers commit to us. Peace and respect to everybody out there. I'm going to get your thoughts. What's going on, Ed Houston? What's going on, everybody in the chat room? I appreciate you. Shirley, I see you. Those that are coming over, we appreciate it. I appreciate you for being here. So let me give you some more data on this young man that definitely will, how do we say it? Knock your socks off. Okay, let's get at it right here. In 2022, he was all-region selection, okay? He was a two-way player in 10 games, totaling 56 tackles, as I said before, and 4 interceptions on defense. On offense, he caught 32 passes for 486 yards. I want to emphasize that. He got 5 TDs. He helped Eagle Landing Christian go 7-5 and make the second round of the Georgia AA playoff in the state of Georgia, y'all. This is his background. I just wanted to give a little bit of information on his background, his high school numbers. Unfortunately, because he didn't play much at Arkansas, we don't really have any numbers to give you based on what he did for Arkansas, because he basically didn't get any playing time there. And then, of course, I believe he got a red shirt year. And because he got that red shirt year there, that would explain why he didn't get any playing time too. But now he's coming to CU with 4 years, not 2 years, not 3 years, but 4 years. So I like him potentially as someone, hopefully he doesn't jump in the transfer portal as well. You know, it seems to be the thing that's happening now. But we're looking at a young man who could potentially slide into being a starting safety, maybe a starting free safety, maybe Coach Prime in the Coach Robert Livingston may see him better suited as a cornerback, but he has versatility. Now, if they want to give him, if they want to do, because remember, Coach Prime said he's willing to let players play both sides of the ball. The young man has experience as a receiver in high school. I wonder if he could do like Travis Hunter and dabble in playing some receiver as well as playing some defensive back. We'll see how that all pans out when he officially gets to CU, gets himself acclimated to the campus and to the program and to the way Coach Prime wants things done step by step by step, everybody. So we'll see what happens.
Tell the truth.
Okay. Let me also lay something out right here. Colorado, before I go to these beautiful clips of R.J. Johnson doing his thing, y'all, Colorado has signed 72 new scholarship players in 2023. Okay, so what I'm saying to you, a lot of these guys that he picked up in the transfer portal last year, a good majority of them have left. Some have left because their eligibility is over. Some have left because they've gone into the transfer portal and they're trying to seek other pastures, right? So out of that 72 new scholarship players that he had in 2023 class, which was made up of high school and transfer players, 61% of them, 61% of those players between high school and transfer portal players, 61% of them are no longer on this roster. So it's a whole new, almost damn near a whole new roster, okay? 35 of the team's 51 transfers additionally from the 2023 cycle are no longer on this roster anymore. 21 of them, which makes up to 43.1%, entered the transfer portal either during the winter and the spring, okay? 10 members of the Colorado or the CU 21 players in 2023, which made up the high school class, okay, which rounds off to 47.6%, have already entered the portal. So what you've got right now is a lot of those guys from 2023 have hit the door. There's a small percentage there. Now, what I want to say to you is that they're focusing on Colorado CU because of Coach Prime, right? The truth of the matter is you've got a whole bunch of college teams that are losing players. The latest I checked, the NCAA issued a memo. I want to tell y'all this, issued a memo telling schools that they had paused the multi-time transfer rules for the rest of the 2023-24 season, which means academic calendar year, which opens the door for all the former transfer to do what? Sign again with another school. So Colorado players took advantage of this. See, a lot of people are not going to tell you this little information. The trolls are not going to tell you this because they're going to say, oh, see, he's losing guys. The only reason why these guys are able to leave is because the NCAA changed their rules. They changed everything. Originally, they weren't going to allow these guys to be able to jump from place to place. You know why? Because there's been some lawsuits against the NCAA. So the one reason why these kids that have left the program would have had to stay with the program if the NCAA hadn't changed these rules and they took advantage of it. I'm gonna break it down to you again. The NCAA issued a memo telling schools it had paused its multi-time transfer rules, which would have kept these young men on CU's roster this year. The rules for the rest of the 2023-24 academic calendar year, which opens the door for all the former transfers to do what? Get into it again and leave and go everywhere they want to go. So this whole situation that's happening in college football, not just at CU, is happening everywhere. I'll name a couple of schools that are losing players, just to name a few. Alabama, they've been losing players. They've lost players to the transfer portal. Louisville has lost players to transfer portal, okay? So there's other schools out here. Iowa, there's other schools that are being impacted by this because the NCAA changed the rules and allowed these young men to have more flexibility as to where they want to play their college football at. So I just want to break that down and let everybody know that that's really why you're seeing what you're seeing. And a lot of it comes out of lawsuits that have been filed against the NCAA to let these kids have more power over where they want to go. So if the NCAA had never changed their rules and kept it as it was before, you wouldn't see Coach Prime losing all those guys that came there in 2023. One, mainly because they wouldn't have been able to leave, even if they were unhappy, they didn't want to be there. And guess what? Someone like R.J. Johnson, who's coming to us, R.J. Johnson would not be able to transfer as well and leave Arkansas. And all the other guys that we got, the Quincy Wiggins. You see, do you get what I'm saying? Some of these guys that are trying to that were able to transfer over to CU, some of them who had already transferred once before to where they were presently would have not been able to jump over to CU if they had already transferred from one school to another school. This young man, Smith, who everybody's been talking about, the young man you see on my screen right here to the left, playing in his uniform at Austin Peay, he would not be able to jump from Austin Peay to UTEP right now. Once again, what's going on with this kid? He just went to Austin Peay, had a successful season there, was all conference in their lead, and now he wants to jump over to UTEP. Well, the only reason why he would be able to do that is because they changed the rules. The NCAA did this, and if they had have kept them the way they were, he would not be able to leave Austin Peay. He would have to stay there another year and play before he could go to another school, because the NCAA does not really particularly like these kids being able to jump around from place to place so quickly like this. And I'd look for them to make some adjustments to the transfer portal. So I just want to lay that out to you, because many people may not be breaking it down in that way. So when the haters come at us about this, give them that information, give them that ammunition, okay? Now, this young man right here is blessed with skills. I'm looking forward to what R.J. Johnson can do, what he's going to bring to the table. I'm very happy that he's made a commitment. Of course, we need these young men to sign and enroll in the school and all those things. But he's coming to see you, and I really want you to see what he's got to show you, what skills he has, what he's all about. Let's go ahead and let you see the first video, and we're going to let it run back a few times. So what I want you to do, you're going to see the quarterback at Arkansas throwing the ball to a receiver, and you're going to see how quick R.J. Johnson is on snatching that ball. This was in a practice at Arkansas. Check this out, y'all. Check this out.
Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like
See that?
we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, 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 to me, nah, 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 right now. Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up.
I want y'all to say that again.
Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, 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 to me, nah, 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 right now. I wonder if
Boom. He snatched that ball so fast, y'all. He snatched it so fast. Here's another one in practice. This is another team practice. And I'm going to let this play once again a few times so you get the whole picture. I want you, his number is number 14. He's playing in the safety, I believe the safety position this time. Keep your eyes on number 14 at the bottom of the screen. And I want you to watch a few times how he does his thing. Check this out.
Don't become a whole lot of pirates, looking for high risk, searching for idols, see through your iris. No fooling a giant, for the wrath of a tyrant. Never really had enough, you can never really have enough.
Boom.
Never really had enough, you can never really have enough.
Right there, you can see that he clearly, they must have been playing some type of zone defense or something of that nature, and he clearly took that ball away. Let's see this again. And he check this out again. Right there, boom, catches the ball. I'm pausing it for effect. Catches the ball and, doing his thing. Again, right there. I'm showing you these videos because it's basically showing you his skill set, what he is possibly bringing to CU. The type of player he is in practice, the kind of hustle he has is exactly what Coach Prime is looking for in his players. He wants young men that are going to work hard. They're going to play hard. That's why Charlie got that scholarship. Okay? That's why Charlie was chosen to get a scholarship, even though he's hurt, because he's showing up. He's showing up to meetings. He's working hard and what have you. And Coach Prime has rewarded him with a scholarship because he was a walk-on. He was basically a walk-on. Let's go and let you see another video clip by R.J. Johnson, who is now, looks like he's going to be a new member of the team. I'm interested, once again, I want to see how Coach Robert Livingston, I really want to know how the coach, let me put Livingston up here right now. I really would like to know how the coach, Robert Livingston, is going to use this young talent. I'm pretty sure, he's going to be, I hope they put him in special teams because we needed help on our special teams as well. But hopefully he can get some experience on special teams, and then maybe they can work him, depending on what he does in practice. Maybe he can be worked into the future of playing in that secondary. Because once again, like I said before, Shallow is going to be leaving, potentially to the NFL. Craig is going to be leaving. So eventually you're going to need to have two new safeties back there. And this young man, I think, may fill the void. Now, these are small clips of some of his high school highlights that you should take a look at. Check this out.
Nigga felt so disconnected. Introspective questions answered with deflections. In the mirror, no reflections.
You see right there, he breaks up a pass. You see, he breaks up a pass right there in the position he's playing right there. I believe at that point he's playing, if I'm not mistaken, he's playing either, let me see, I think he's playing a cornerback right here. Let me double check this. No, he's playing safety. He's playing over the top. Boom. There he is. Boom. And here's some more. Right there. Intercept. Look at that. Boom. Didn't I tell you, everybody, that this young man can play wide receiver as well? I want y'all to see this again. This is a fantastic move by this young man. Check this out. The quarterback's right there. He's looking. Look at that. There, boom. He catches the ball at his highest peak, y'all. This is R.J. Johnson. He can play defense. He can play offense. I think Coach Prime and that coaching staff may need to consider him and using him the way they've been using Travis Hunter. That's just my opinion about it. Let's watch him catch this ball again. This is a pretty deep throw right here by his quarterback, and he caught it at a high peak. Check this out again. Look at that. Boom. That's a pretty damn good catch, y'all. And then boom, he puts a hit on somebody. Bam. There he is, number 7. He's number 7 in high school. Check him out again. Check him out. He's from the back. He's coming from the safety position. Number 7, bam. Makes the stop. coming out of the safety position, number 7, that's R.J. Johnson. Now, R.J. Johnson's playing cornerback. Boom, he stops the guy from catching the ball there. Here he is. He going to put a lick on somebody right here. Look, there he is right there. Bam! Woo, he can. The young man can tackle. So this is what young R.J. Johnson is bringing to the table. I want to make sure I emphasize this. From what I can see, the young man is he's an athlete. The young man can play safety. He can cover receivers because he can play cornerback. He can drop down like a linebacker and put a loaded hit on you. You can line him up as a receiver, and he can get down the field with his speed as a receiver, and he can catch deep passes like this. Fantastic. I think that Coach Prime may have picked up a gem, y'all. This young man, I'm going to say again, this young man is not a slouch. In Georgia, he was the 48th player in Georgia and the number 61 cornerback nationally by Rivals. The number 59 player in Georgia and the number 68th athlete in the county, in the country, according to 24/7 Sports. His biggest reception as a sophomore, he picked off one pass for 69 yards as a junior. As a sophomore, as a junior, he had 23 receptions for 594 yards, 6 touchdowns. As a senior, he racked up 56 tackles, including 1.0 tackle for a loss. He recorded 2 interceptions, 2 pass breakups, 1 fumble recovery, and 1 fumble force. Offensively, he caught 32 passes for 486 yards and 5 TDs. I'm going to say this again. This young man was highly touted out of high school by the likes of schools like Boston College, Duke, Florida, Georgia Tech, Indiana, Kentucky, Kansas, Louisville, LSU, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Rutgers, South Carolina, Vanderbilt, Virginia, and Wake Forest. I'm liking what I'm seeing. I hope you're liking what you're seeing. Definitely hit the likes button on this video tonight. I really appreciate those of you who have come over. But let me let you see one other thing. So apparently he's been working out with a brother who, I guess he works with young players to prepare them for that next level. Let me let you see the workouts, the workout regiment. Check this out.
But all that shit we doing, all this is what it's coming in first play at, right? So we here, get your feet in the athletic position, boom, and stay down.
Yeah.
And when you're doing that, your feet want to get even now. I don't want to be here because it's going to be hard as hell for you to come back this way. All right, that's going to turn your shoulders. Everything want to be here. All right, so. Crossover run. Come on, keep going. Keep going. So when I move, you move.
Stay on top.
Crossover. Again, come on. Don't
I'm guessing.
That's that position Tay talking about. We always like that. You got to feel comfortable now.
Yeah.
Stay down, sit down. Come on. Good shit, boy. To the inside.
Now, what that shows, in my opinion, that R.J. Johnson is coachable. He's working out with a brother there who's trying to prepare him for his next level, which is college, right? So I think it's what it shows you is that you could tell on that footage that they were working on technique. The gentleman was teaching R.J. Johnson technique, footwork. Remember, he kept talking about the foot, meaning you want to make sure you plant your foot back, because if you have to turn, you're going to have a hard time. I want you to hear that little part before he said about planting the foot. Let's hear this. Let's hear this. I'll stop it when we get there.
all that shit we doing, all this, that's what it's coming into play at, right? So we here, get your feet in the athletic position. Boom.
He said, get your feet in an athletic position, that he says to R.J. Johnson.
And stay down.
And stay down.
And when you're doing that, your feet want to get even now.
He says when you're doing this, you want your feet to be even so that if you have to turn to maintain your ability to run, to stay with that receiver, your opponent, you don't want to be off balance. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
You here, get your feet in the athletic position. Boom. And stay down. And when you're doing that, your feet want to get even now. I don't want to be here because it's going to be hard as hell for you to come back this way. That's going to turn your shoulder. Everything on the feet.
Says turn your shoulder. These are techniques.
All right, go. Crossover run. Come on, keep going. Keep going. So when I move, you move.
Stay on top.
Crossover. Again, come on. Don't get it.
I'm guessing.
Fair use, fair use, fair use, everybody.
Talk about, we always like that. You got to feel comfortable now.
Yeah.
Stay down, sit down. Come on.
That's right. All right. I like what I'm seeing because that shows that he's teachable, meaning that he's willing to listen, he's willing to take instruction. He's not acting like he know it all. He's listening to that gentleman show him proper technique. So I think that bodes well for Robert Livingston, the new defensive coordinator for CU. It bodes well for Coach Prime to have a young man like this who comes into the program, who seems or appears on video, and you see him working hard because I showed you a couple of video of him working hard in practice. I showed you video of what he did in high school, little small clips of his high school abilities, right? So it shows that Robert Livingston will be able to work with this young man, because this is another thing I want to bring up. I don't know how many people are going to bring this up. This young man is played safety and cornerback, but I'm focusing on safety, and I'm going to tell you why. The reason why is because, do you realize that CU has a young defensive coordinator who that's what he did in the NFL. He was a position coach for the Cincinnati Bengals. Let me put him back up here. And he worked with professional football players, and I think he was one of the reasons why Cincinnati's defense was good. And he worked with the safeties. There's I think one or two of the safeties, one of them in particular, I can't think of his name offhand. For some reason, I'm going blank on it. But he has successfully coached guys to being what? All pro. He has successfully coached guys on Cincinnati to becoming all pro secondary players. That's his calling card. He has actually contributed to guys elevating their game at the pro level. So now you put a young man like this, a young man that's willing to learn, a young man who's coachable, with someone like Robert Livingston, who has a history of working with safeties in particular, making them all pro. If you imagine what he could do with this young man, if he imparts the NFL way of playing defense and the techniques, it could be fantastic. And I think Coach Prime, I'm going to say it again, Coach Prime, you got a gem there. I'm really saying that I think this young man's going to be a gem for the program. I think this young man jumps out of the gym, literally jumps out of the damn football. I think he's going to be fantastic. I like the pickup. I like the fact that this young man's coming over, and I went over his ratings, Wake Forest. I talked about that about this young man. I talked about his numbers, so I don't need to read off that because I read it off. Of course, once again, I need to bring this up. There's a connection between him and the Hood brothers because I think they all played at Landon Christian Academy, if I'm not mistaken. Landing Christian Academy in Georgia. And also, I also put this up here to let you know that at Arkansas last season, Johnson appeared in one game, but did not record any stats. He preserves his red shirt and will have 4 years of eligibility remaining, ladies and gentlemen. As I had said before, and hey, he's coming, and I hope that I want nothing but success for the young man, so I'm rooting for him, and I'm very anxious to see how he fits in and how they're going to use him, because I think this young man has great upside to be something great. Just in the video, and I haven't even shown you, I didn't even show you all the videos, all the footage that's out there on him that I had a chance to look at. I just gave you some small clips tonight. So, but what I've seen of him excites me. Okay, very much so. Let me go into the chat room. Read your thoughts as I get ready to conclude tonight. We got Wild Dog in here tonight. What's going on, Wild Dog? Alicia's in the house. We got Ed in Houston. We've got James Price who's come in. Let me see what he's going to say here. James Price says, RJ has great feet and fluid hips. I should be fine. James, all right, right on. Look, I'm impressed with what I've seen in just in the clips that I showed you. But remember, what I showed you tonight were just clips. I didn't show you. I had a chance. If you go online, you can look up. You can go on Twitter, put his name through, or just look this up on YouTube. There's other clips. I didn't even show you all of that clip of him in high school. I only gave you a few seconds of that clip. There's so much more of his versatility. That's the word we need to use for RJ Johnson. He's heavily versatile. That's what you want. My favorite team, the 49ers, we like versatile defensive players. That guy Owens that we drafted from Florida State, he played safety in high school too. He played cornerback. He played safety at Florida State. He played cornerback. Versatility. The 49ers are probably going to think about putting him in the slot, putting him on the outside. Maybe if there's an emergency situation, he can play some safety. When you got a versatile player like this, there's so much things that he can do. And then I haven't even talked about the fact that I think he can play some wide receiver like Travis Hunter. You might have just got a Swiss Army knife. That's the metaphor for this young man. He could do it all. Tell the truth. Wild Dog, what do you think about? What do you think about, brother? What's going on, PGH Big Dog? Wild Dog, thank you for the Cash App that you sent me the other day too, brother. I really appreciate that. Thank you a lot. But what do you think about my analysis based on what we know about the young man so far? I think he has that. I think he has Travis Hunter potential. What I mean by that is, I'm not saying he's going to be Travis Hunter, because nobody can be anybody but themselves. But I think he brings that same versatility to CU. Ed Houston says correct. Let me see. Correct words. Correct words. Very versatile. Yeah. Correct word would be he is very versatile. Yes, brother. I totally agree with you. Thank you. Versatile, a.k.a. utility, a.k.a. Swiss Army knife. That's right, brother. That's right. What's going on, Peggy? Good to see you over here tonight. Shirley, thank you for coming over. I see you in the chat room. I know it's late for people all around the country. I would have loved to have done this like on a weekend, but it's time sensitive. You know, we just got this news about this young man yesterday. So, hey, we're going to do this video and let the views spread as they do on the video. And I really appreciate everybody out there. Now, Wild Dog, I played a video from the Undisputed with Keyshawn Johnson, Paul Pierce, and of course, Skip Bayless. And they sort of felt that Coach Prime was in his right to sort of snip back at Xavier Smith, because he's saying that you can't let someone disparage your character, disparage the program. And I also brought up the fact that that young man that was talking about him, Xavier, is a young man that went to Austin Peay, where he had a pretty good season, and now he's transferring to UTEP. So then if you're not even, he's not even staying where he had success, because he's running the UTEP, and now he wants to talk about Coach Prime in the program when he's so far removed from the program now. And I know, I get it. He probably looked up to Coach Prime. He probably wanted that special attention. But the truth of the matter is, brother, and you know this, everybody, we can't baby these young men. This is not how the world really works. It just doesn't work that way. And maybe, we're living in a different era where you can't be old school coach like they were like they were years ago. A lot of these kids, you can't yell at them. You can't say certain things because that might make them want to transfer. And Wild Dog, if you probably weren't here earlier, I broke down why CU really lost these players. Do you know that the NCAA changed their rules? They were going to put a pause on players being able to multi-transfer to different schools. So if it had not been for the NCAA lifting the rule, because you got lawsuits out there about this issue, a lot of those young men that he lost, the 71, what was it? I brought the numbers up. 72% of the new scholarship players that he got last year between high school and transfer portal, with 61% of them no longer on the roster. Do you know that if the NCAA had kept the rule in place that they put in, most of these guys, unless they left because they don't have any more eligibility, they would still be on this team. And if they didn't want to play for this team, they wouldn't be able to play for anybody else. They would have to set out for the rest of the year, because they would not be able to, within the transfer portal period, they would not be able to go anywhere, or they wouldn't be going anywhere. So it's because the NCAA relaxed this rule that not only CU, but all these programs have lost players. Alabama has lost players. Louisville has lost players. So this is just the name of the game today. Let me see what my man Ed is saying here. Ed says Prime is looking for prime time players. Everyone is just not made for prime time. Gold Jacket University. Facts.
Tell the truth.
I have to agree with you. The data can be misleading, but the film don't lie. Nice 360 look at this young man. Right. I'm going to tell you right now, the cameras don't lie. Data can be misleading. But I want you all that are listening to this podcast, I only showed you some small clips tonight. Do your research on R.J. Johnson. Look at other videos about him, or look at videos to just show him playing in high school, maybe, and you will see that just like Travis Hunter, he's a Swift Army knife. Just like Wild Dog said, he's a Swift Army knife, which is a metaphor which is versatile. He can do many things. Play receiver, play safety, play cornerback. He can cover in space. Looks like from the video that I've seen of him, he can play some press coverage too. He can get physical with you. I showed video of him making a tackle. So he can tackle, he can cover in space, he can play some press coverage, he can play the safety spot, and damn it, you can line him up as a receiver and he can go get a deep pass on you. Yeah. That's pretty good stuff, y'all. That's pretty good stuff. This young man right here, I got to give him credit, And I'm happy that he has decided, once again, he's able to transfer. Well, no, he would have been able to transfer to CU either way because he was recruited out of high school and he accepted the Arkansas scholarship. So he didn't go to Arkansas as a transfer. So if he wanted to transfer to CU, he would have been able to. But let's say R.J. Johnson had actually transferred to Arkansas from another school. Then if that rule that the NCAA has now lifted was in place, he wouldn't have been able to transfer over to CU as well if he had already had a transfer that he had already engaged in the first time. They didn't want, the bottom line is they don't really want these kids being able to transfer multiple times, meaning you go to here, you stay there for a year, and then you go there, boom, boom, boom. It's almost like you are a for hire renegade football player, for a lack of a better word. You are a what do they call that? You're like you're I'm just saying it's I don't think they want college football to be this domino of people jumping here, boom, 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 right? They're going to put a rule in place, but what happened is that you have some lawsuits where parents and lawyers have gotten involved and say, hey, the NCAA should not be able to dictate whether a young man can leave when he wants to leave a school, even if he just transferred there. And I think that's one of the reasons why the NCAA may have relaxed the rule for this year. Now, I'm going to say it again. It's for it was for the 23-24 year. Now, what happens in 2025? I'm not sure. Maybe this whole thing will change again. But I just wanted to lay that out. I appreciate everybody that came over. I know it's late tonight. Also, here he is again. That's him in the middle, Mr. R.J. Johnson, very versatile. And there he is at Arkansas with some of his teammates. And once again, there's a connection between him and the Hood brothers. Brandon Hood, the running back, okay? Colton Hood, another defensive back, okay? Who also has 4 years of eligibility. There's a connection between them. I'm going to repeat this because they all, I think if I'm correct, went to Landing Christian Academy High School. So there is a, how do I say it? There is a connection. So everybody, tonight I'm about to get ready to end. I appreciate everybody coming in. Let me read your last thoughts right here. Let me see. Wild Dog says, I need the portal. In my time, you had to stay 2 years with 60 credits to transfer. You're right, Wild Dog. Hey, Wild Dog, I saw you on the show the other weekend ago or other night ago. I am planning, just so you know, Wild Dog, because I would love to have you come on the panel and talk to you, brother, and all of you. I love to have all of you. But I am going to do, I want to do it this weekend if I can, but I would like to actually have a Q&A where I can bring people up on a panel and we can just chop it up about everything that has to do with the team, maybe what we see, the good, the bad, what we want to see happen, what we think is going to happen, what we would like to see improved. So be on the lookout for that, brother. Definitely like to have you on the panel. Ed, like to have you on the panel, and anybody else. Alicia, I hope you're doing well. I know it's late for you out there in Chicago. We got my man that I've known for a while, PGH Big Dog, is in the house saying salute, Prime Sports Media. Thank you. And let me put this in here. James Price says this, I'm sorry for the typo, but RJ should be fine. I agree with your points about him being versatile. He should be able to cover anyone. I look, like I said, I only gave you, because, you know, this is YouTube and you don't want to get copyright hit and all that kind of stuff. I only played small clips of stuff tonight. If you go out there and look at more content on the young man in terms of him playing, it is without no doubt in my mind that there's something about him that reminds me. I'm not saying he's Travis Hunter, because everyone is their own man and he's his own man. He's going to make a name for himself. but he has that same similar skill set. I see him as a dog because he has the speed, the quickness, the agility to cover in the outside. So he can cover receivers. He can come up, press up on the tight end, press up on the cornerback, on the receivers. He can play safety and set back and observe what's happening and come down and lay the boom on you really heavy. He can intercept balls. He can tackle. He can move. He don't have his feet in the sand. And then if you decide to put him out there as receiver, he has the speed and agility and the ability and to get up and get that ball when he's throwing a deep pass. Let me show you this one more time, just for the sake of it all. Watch this, everybody. Watch this.
Sing about freedom like a bird in a cage, that's a whole different pain.
Boom.
Calling up my homies and it's hard to explain.
Did you see how he caught that ball, everybody?
Staying on my mind on the usual.
Staying on my mind on the usual. Check this out again. This is just him playing receiver. There he is. Deep pass, number 7. Look at that. Look how he went up and grabbed the ball, gathered and comes down to the, look how he, see it again. Look how he jumps up at a high point. Look at that. Boom. That's fantastic. That's the same type of stuff that Travis Hunter does. So this is what I'm saying to you all tonight. I don't know how many people, how many content creators have done a video on this young man yet, what their insight is about him, but I'm telling you right now, I think that RJ Johnson is a gem. I think Coach Prime may have gotten a hidden gem, and they're going to discover this once he gets to see you, he gets in practice. Robert Livingston is able to, the defensive coordinator, who has a history, telling me if I'm wrong or right about this, has a history of working with NFL caliber defensive backs, particularly safeties that he has made, and particularly one safety with Cincinnati made him into an all-pro. Coached him into an all-pro. Coach these guys into being a very well-respected secondary in the NFL with the Cincinnati Bengals. You take that young man's raw skills, you put him with a coach who has NFL background with working with safeties like Robert Livingston. You get my logic here? You get him around people like Coach Prime, people who have a professional mindset, and you can make great things happen. That's what I'm saying. I think this kid is a gem. I think he's an untapped gem, and we're about to see it before our eyes very soon, because they're going to have 4 years to work with him, and God, hope he doesn't do a transfer portal on us, because this young man, I could see him as a starting safety, maybe even play some cornerback his sophomore year. Maybe they'll even dabble him in the game offensively or defensively this year, because you know you always have potential for injuries, right? I know I'm belaboring my points, but I got to emphasize this so that I'm on the record on this video tonight, that I think that RJ Johnson may be a hidden gem, and we might be hearing about this young man someday. We might be saying, damn, this dude is good. Why didn't Arkansas realize that they better hold on to him? That's my prediction, y'all. And I want to say I appreciate everybody in the chat room. Wild Dog says I call them stay soft. Right. Okay, Ed says 2 Pro Bowlers. Right, 2 Pro Bowlers who were in the secondary, particularly safeties in particular, with the Cincinnati Bengals. You're absolutely right, Brother Ed. Let me see what my man SID just said here. SID is saying they all went to Eagles Landing High School. Yes, I had mentioned that, brother. Guess what? Because they went to high school with the Hood brothers. I've talked about that. I'm a hit of the game tonight, okay? All right? I've been saying that throughout the video, that what he has in common is that he went to Landing Christian Academy. When he played there, he led them to a 7-5 record. He was an all-district player. I talked about his numbers, what numbers he put up as a receiver, as a safety, as a defensive back. I also talked about the relationship in terms of with the Hood brothers because they all played at the same high school program, if I'm not mistaken. So I appreciate you coming in and dropping that in there, but just wanted you to know that I've been dropping that all night, and everybody knows that. They all went to Eagles Landing High School. They all are connected to the pastor, and he's the pastor is the one, Prime's brother. Yeah, the pastor is the one who's been putting the video clips of that young man in the Hood brothers. I mean, of the other, not the Hood brothers, but the other, the Hood brothers and the other young man. The Hood brothers. Let me correct myself. He's the one that's been putting the video of them playing in their scrimmage games in college. He's been putting out very good content, SID. And you're absolutely right. The pastor's been on it. I appreciate him. I shout him out. I shout you out. I thank you for coming over and joining us tonight. With that said, I'm going to have to get ready to go. And once again, look for me to go live sometime soon. Again, if I'm able to go live this weekend, I would like to have a panel where I can invite people up and we can we can just talk football talk and talk about CU, what we think is going to be the outlook for this season and what have you. I really appreciate everybody. And let me give you guys a heads up. I did some research. This won't be a live stream video that I'm going to do, but it's going to be an uploaded video, a short video. A lot of people have been coming down on Coach Prime about the transfer portal, and he's trying to improve the team. I just looked at a study about the transfer portal versus recruiting kids from high school. And I'm going to be doing a video that's going to knock your socks off, giving you the data, the information as it relates to how that benefits a team, some teams, and maybe how it doesn't benefit other teams. But you're going to be very interested to hear what position actually it benefits to have guys come in through the transfer portal. I'm going to be doing a separate short video about that. So be on the lookout for that. You're going to definitely like that video, and you're definitely going to be shocked by the information that I'm about to lay on y'all as it relates to that issue. So with that said, everybody, y'all take care. Y'all have a good night. Tell somebody that you love them. And I really appreciate you all out there. All the mods in the chat room, thank you for coming over. I know it's late. There would be more people over here if I was able to go earlier in the day. But sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And I appreciate you in the chat room, all the mods, all the good people out there watching. Y'all take care. Have a great night.
Right now, staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do.
Peace.
Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, right now. I wonder if you're social lately. I wonder if you're always fucking sober or emotion roller coaster, barely coasting, hardly cope and wanna call me, but you never push that motherfucking button. Change on me. What about us? What about the times when you feel like you could trust. Yeah, now you on the chase for the same shit. You hear the sirens in the lake and wanna chase them. Beauty on the out, but you're surrounded by the fake shit. Beasts in a maze. Sing about freedom like a bird in a cage. That's a whole different pain. Calling up your homies and it's hard to explain. Yeah, it's hard to explain. Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, 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 tell me nah, 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 right now. Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, 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 tell me nah, 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 right now. Right there, like you never left, and I am hoping that you might care. Change on me. What about us? What about the times when I feel like I could trust? Yeah, now I'm on a chase for the same shit. I hear the sirens in the lake and wanna chase them. Beauty on the out, but I'm surrounded by the fake shit. Beasts in a maze. Sing about freedom like a bird in a cage. That's a whole different pain. Calling up my homies and it's hard to explain. Yeah, it's hard to explain. Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, 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 tell me nah, 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 right now. Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, 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 tell me nah, 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 right now. I wonder if you're social lately. I wonder if you're always fucking sober or emotion roller coaster, barely coasting, hardly cope and wanna call me, but you never push that motherfucking button. Change on me. What about us? What about the times when you feel like you could trust? Yeah, now you on the chase for the same shit. You hear the sirens in the lake and wanna chase them. Beauty on the out, but you're surrounded by the fake shit. Beasts in a maze. Sing about freedom like a bird in a cage. That's a whole different pain. Calling up your homies and it's hard to explain. Yeah, it's hard to explain. Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, 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 tell me nah, 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 right now. Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, 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 tell me nah, 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 right now.
Have a good night, and day, and morning, and noon.
Tell the truth.